To the Times of Israel that his group has spent roughly $60,000 on 3 of Robinson's rallies and his legal fees back in 2018. Pipes described Robinson as, quote, trying to sustain his civilization.
Yeah, these links are very significant and they are deeply worrying because what we're seeing is like alliances that really don't seem particularly natural. This will lead to the vilification of certain communities, but it will also lead to the rise of, I would suspect, to the rise in anti-Semitism as well, to the rise in Islamophobia, and to communities that should be working together, being divided and being pitted against each other. I think it's deeply, deeply troubling. And again, at the end of the day, what loses is democracy.
Robinson, Shillman, Horowitz and the Middle East Forum claim they are not anti-Muslim. Instead, they say it's their shared belief in protecting Western civilization from radical Islam that binds them all together. However, what is undeniable is that the increasingly powerful combination of Tommy Robinson's international resources, growing digital media operation, and the normalization of extreme racist rhetoric has become a potent force, the full effect of which is yet to play out on Britain's streets and at the ballot box. Join us for our next episode of Long Story Short as we investigate the rise of Tommy Robinson and why the world's richest man, Elon Musk, has become his ardent fan.
Right, okay, everybody, I just want to say something. Public notice. Raj is on the payroll of the elite pedophile rings.
Wow.
He has been for a very long time.
Yeah.
He actively looks to promote the minorities that abuse children but overlook the indigenous white people.
Go on.
Even though 99% of abuse is done by white men. Okay?
100%.
Now, the Asian groom
from the Ukraine via Moldova to the UK for sexual abuse and organ harvesting. And as horrible as that is, and it's, you know, there are still people who don't want to hear about the vaccines not being safe and effective. And this is another step on from there to systemic child abuse and trafficking. But I mean, unfortunately, we have to live in the world as it is, not how we'd like it to be. And it's a fact. And I looked at the evidence. I saw what the group had done, and they tried to take it to the police in the UK. They'd taken it to Gloucestershire Police because they've got a specialist unit in child trafficking, and they wouldn't do anything. They'd taken it to MI5. They'd taken it to MI6. They'd taken it to the National Crime Agency, and they'd got recordings of all their conversations with these agencies. And nobody was. And I wrote and sent the evidence into the government. I sent it into the leader of the House, and I sent it into the Lord Chancellor, who's in charge of the judiciary. And all I got back was, if you think a crime has been committed, take it to the police. Well, I'd already pointed out that they'd already been to the police, and no one wants to deal with it. And the answer was that the information had come from 2 Ukrainian Secret Service agents who independently, so they didn't know about each other, they'd given the same information, and the information was that the Ukrainian Secret Services were collecting children during the conflict in the Donbass, and they were handing them over to UK Secret Services who were trying.
Yeah, and you worked on a documentary about this topic.
Yes.
Shall we just have a look at the trailer? The trailer is called From War to Exploitation, the Crisis of Child Trafficking in Ukraine.
High-ranking individuals in the Ukraine and the UK. International corporate companies' funds being directed to these individuals. Child trafficking from the Ukraine to Moldova to the UK to be used in the sex trade and organ harvesting. Get ready for the expose of the century.
Yeah, very difficult to cope with this information that it really exists. And maybe that's also the reason why people look away. But if you
They don't want to believe it existed.
if you have children yourself, it's something that should bother you, should interest you. But I have children myself, and I have to admit, when I dig into these subjects, it kind of makes me feel very, very, very almost sick.
Yeah.
So I intend to look away from it. What is this energy that makes you look away? Because you have children, but you didn't look away.
As an elected member of parliament, I always thought my job was to protect the interest of the people who voted for me. I mean, whether that's the economic interest and economic growth and well-being, or from exploitation. And looking in the dark corners that no one else wants to look in. I mean, there's some pretty horrendous things in there. And I'd uncovered so much corruption through my 14 years in Parliament. I mean, everything that didn't add up or no one wanted to talk about, it was always corruption.
Yeah, but what did it
Explanation.
what did it expose, this documentary, and did it change anything?
Yes. When I exposed all this, what it happened was that I was actually arrested and accused of paedophilia.
You were arrested?
Yes, 3 weeks later. And they made ludicrous accusations that I was a member of the Freemasons. And I mean, the police could have found that out in 5 minutes. That I've never
But you were actually arrested?
I was brought in and questioned under caution, on the old record. And I had to have a lawyer there. They offered me the government lawyer, obviously, but that wouldn't have been very good, would it? So, and they had to drop it. They said there were evidential problems. That's because there was no evidence. And that was just a warning. I mean, that's what they do to people.
But it's almost a joke.
It wasn't. Well, it's not a joke when you're in the police station and they're asking you the questions they're asking you. Yeah. I mean, it's appalling. 8 years ago, I gave evidence that the chief constable of Leicestershire was a paedophile.
Yeah.
I didn't investigate him though.
But the result,
I gave that evidence to the police.
the result is that you were investigated. But
Yes,
did
but it was-
anybody do anything with your information?
No, they wouldn't do anything with it. Except what we do know now is that the operation, which was running out of the UK, they've moved the administration of it to Belgium since this programme came out.